All right, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back. We have the man himself, the most requested, one of the most requested. Garrett, how you doing,
Wow.
boss?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. This guy's been hounding me. I was sick. I was traveling. I couldn't get on. Oh, it was a mess, but we made it happen. So let's chop it up. Let's talk what we got to talk. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Honestly, like, I don't want to say questions because I don't want to make it feel like just an interview, but there's a lot of things I want to get into on, like, your whole journey, dude. Because
Whatever you want. I'm
you're
an
sh-
open book.
you seem like the working machine, and I feel like this will inspire a lot of people. Truly me. I'm kind of being selfish on this one. But
It's okay.
yeah, let's get into it. So I kind of want to know, I know you started off like with YouTube, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of want to get into what you was doing before and then what inspired
Sure.
you to transition, like, cuz you was like before the wave.
Yeah, yeah. So I started back in 2011 on YouTube. So before YouTube was the it job, the cool thing that the kids wanted to be instead of the doctors, firefighters, nerd. Like I was like that YouTuber in 2011 that was just making YouTube videos with my two best friends, right? Um, and I was in college, so we had played a lot of World of Warcraft back then, and there was a YouTuber by the name of Athene Lowell. Like this was a really big YouTuber back in the day, huge, one of the OGs, and he made this whole incentive to get people to make YouTube channels. Like he was a big motivator of like, yo, stop what you're doing today, make a YouTube channel, and just post videos. His whole thing was just post videos to get people to just like become YouTubers. And I was like, you know what? Me and my boys, we would always play games, and that's how we became the Jobless Gamers. So that's what like our first channel name was. So
Oh,
my Jobless Garrett channel, its real name is actually Jobless Gamers. So
that
that's
is
my
crazy.
yeah, yeah. So like if you go to youtube.com/jobless gamers, it still redirects to Jobless Garrett. So like that's how I got my start, right? So I started at with three friends in college in 2011. By 2013, September, GTA came out, and I was graduating in 2013 December. So I almost decided to just completely drop out of college at this point because in 2013 September, my channel took off. So I started making like $3,000 a month in college, right? So I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
holy gee, I'm rich. I don't have to get a
So
real
so
job.
so wait. When you so you're saying it like, "Oh, I was making $3,000, like, that's huge to a lot of people, right?
Oh, it's
What
huge. It was huge for me back then too.
so
I was
what
like,
what was your YouTube schedule? Was you like, was you
yeah,
posting
yeah.
every day? Like, how
Oh
what
man. So right when GTA dropped in September, I hit the ground running and I made every video I could possibly think of. Like literally everything on like how to make money, how to level up, how to find this car, how to find that car, like UFO tutorials, like literally anything I would find in the game that I think somebody would search on how to do, I was making that video
Mm.
just to hit the searches, and it was working, right? So like, and that was like my first real um hardcore like go. I was doing like 6 videos a day, like
Damn.
and I was uploading and editing my own videos while also going to college. And the video qualities back then, like the bar was really low back then. So like you could get away with just like ripping out a quick commentary, one take, edit it, slap together some gameplay, and throw up the tutorial. Like you could get away with that even sort of today too with some games. But
But six
yeah.
six a day is a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, it was nuts. It was nuts. I was literally only eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day, uh, for like a month. Just like not every day, but you know what I mean. Like I was trying to min max. I'm all about min maxing. So I was consuming large amounts of unhealthy food just to make sure I had enough time to like keep posting videos. And at this time, my family had no idea what I was doing, right? So they thought I was just like wasting my time playing video games, and that was my first real big break. So like where like I was consistent enough because I had missed my first wave. YouTube at one point was gracious enough, like the algorithm blessed me with Skyrim traction. That was my first big break. Whereas like I had a viral video and I was how to find a certain NPC called Lydia, and YouTube blew that video up, like made it super viral. People were looking it up because it was a big topic, and that's how I got that idea of like, let me create videos that people will search for before they search for it, right? So
Got
like
you. Got you.
before they get to the point where I'm at in the game where I struggled, let me make a video how to beat the struggles before they get there.
So
So
so you was kind of like the game tutorial.
yeah. With it was so like how I what I labeled it is informative entertainment. So like I would give you the information you're looking for while also providing that little bit of entertainment that made you like stick around. Because a lot of what happens like when you find these guides or like tutorial video guys, like you'll just watch what you want and then dip, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like you gotta have a hook. You gotta have something that like keeps them coming back where it's like, hey, like, you know, this guy was funny, or like I like the way that this guy flowed with the video, like certain elements that made him want to subscribe. And back then, subscribing was like the most important thing. Nowadays, it doesn't matter. Subscribing is not a big deal on YouTube. But yeah, that's how I got my big break. And that's I've been doing YouTube since 2011, and I've been doing GTA since 2013. So that's why for me, like, you know, I've been doing now RP for 5 years. But I've been doing GTA as a whole like forever. Almost 10 years. This would be the 10th year come September. So
So
yeah.
like what like you know, it's kind of like you what was your inspiration then? Because you know, like nowadays you've got so much inspiration. You could be like, oh, this like you was kind of like there was like no guy before you.
Yeah,
So
no, there
so
I was just doing it. There was no there was no like guide. There was no I was just doing it to do it, you know? Like I was just doing it. There I don't even know how to describe it, man. I was just working to work. There was no I didn't have a purpose, to be honest. I didn't have a reasoning on why I was doing it. I was just doing it. There was no like, oh, I'm gonna do this as my job. There was no like, I was just having fun. When I started, it was like a big factor to me of like, I like it was so long ago back then. There wasn't even a lot of money to make on YouTube. So when
yeah.
I started making money, I was like, what the? I'm making a lot of money. Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into because there was no crash course. There weren't YouTube consultants, gurus that like would tell you, yo, you can make 6 figures a month on YouTube. Like, those weren't
Yeah.
things that were real at the time. Like, back then, like back then. Now, like, an example, like, if you started like in the last 4 years, you're making way more money than I did when I started, right? So, like, there are people that come into the space in the last 2 years, 3 years that are already multimillionaires. Where, like, for me, it's taken 10 years to get to where I'm at, where people can do it nowadays in two,
Yeah.
right? But I have all the experience and knowledge, and I've been in the ups and downs, and it's all very similar. So, like, every year you'll see ups and downs are very, very similar. So, yeah, I definitely didn't have a guide or like anyone that I was like, oh, let me do it how they're doing it, because it was just, bro, it was the wild wild west.
So you mentioned you had two best friends or two good
Mhm.
friends. So
Yeah,
what happened to them on that journey? Did they just
yeah,
stop?
good question. So they are still my best friends. They're still close in my life. So it became a thing where like I'm a super extrovert and they're introverts, right? So like on camera personality, they they didn't find the passion as I did. Like, when you're invested into something more than someone else and they're just not like putting up their like, they're not really all in about it.
Yeah.
So that's what ended up happening. Like we were all in college. Um one was in like accounting and finance, one was in a nursing going to nursing school or getting a science degree at the time. And like they had paths they wanted to take, and I was on a very business marketing path that like I didn't know what I was doing. I just was a business marketing major and didn't really like have any real, you know, direction. I just knew like I'm gonna get a job in the corporate world. And then when my channel blew up, I was like, I'm not getting a corporate job.
Yeah.
So because like they were no longer heavily involved, and it was more so like there was never like a hey, you're out or anything like that. It was more so like, hey man, like you guys really just aren't making videos. You guys don't have the same interests. And to this day, like they have regrets about it for sure.
So so how do you this like I know you're simplifying it, but how did you juggle that? Because obviously it's like we started this together. We're like quote unquote a team.
Yeah.
You're putting in a lot of work, but on their side, they're not really putting work. How did you kind of like overcome that? Was it just easy for you to be like, or was it like, you'd have motivational speeches and say, yeah, let's do this? Like,
No, it this channel slowly became like hey, we're posting group videos and doing things together, to me pumping out content and me like making the channel grow. And it just naturally, like, because they're my my best friends, my boys, like they just saw like, yo, like we are not equally as invested in this as you are, like we'll just take a step back. And like there was never even like a conversation of like, yo, this is how it's gonna go down. It was just it just happened. I don't even know, to be honest. Like it just, they wish now looking back that they were more involved, that they made videos and stuff. But I've had conversation with them now, fast forward, and like they're still like, man, I wish we would have been more gung ho, or they have regrets about it for sure.
yeah,
Because now they have like normalcy in their lives, where it's like normal 9 to 5s, and like they're making good money and happy with what they're doing. But of course, like that mentality of the grass is always greener on the other side,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So
so now you're what? You're into the GTA scene.
yeah.
You're pumping out videos. So, do you have multiple channels at this point, or are you still on
Yeah.
the same one?
Yeah, so Jobless Garrett is now like the dinosaur. It is like the channel that, it is what started, it's founded it all, but I don't upload on that channel anymore. It's sort of in the past. We when I
Why
say
why
we,
is why is that?
why don't I upload on that channel anymore?
Yeah, like
Yeah, so Jobless Garrett is such an old channel that I made a lot of early on mistakes that sort of put it in a weird spot. So this gets real deep, but it I'll try to simplify as much as possible. Um, the best way I can put it is, let's pretend you sign up for a newsletter for baseball, right? And you're like, I'm a huge baseball fan. I freaking love baseball. And then this newsletter starts sending you baseball stuff, and you're hyped. You're like, oh, I love baseball. This is great content. But then the newsletter also starts sending you stuff about cats and dogs. And you're like, well, I don't really care about cats and dogs. I'm here for baseball, right? And eventually, like, you stop clicking on the newsletters as much as you were before, because it's not sending you as much baseball stuff. Now they're also sending you food stuff, cat and dog stuff, and baseball stuff. And you're like, yo, I never wanted all of this stuff. I just wanted the baseball stuff. So Jobless Garrett ran into that problem where back in the day, on YouTube, variety was king. Like, it's what every streamer wants to do. It's what every YouTuber wants to do. They want to just post what they want to post and not really appease to what the audience wants, right? So a lot of YouTube is catering to the algorithm and doing what the algorithm wants. And the algorithm is the audience that the algorithm is feeding your content to. So I went from doing GTA 5 gaming videos to live streaming GTA 5 on YouTube gaming, then transitioning into vlogs and doing more IRL content. So I was mixing literally everything into this channel possible, from gaming to IRL to skits to what pranks to other games that weren't GTA 5. So doing all that like caused a lot of audience confusion in who was subscribing. So at one point I was giant for GTA 5. I was one of the like bigger names in GTA 5. Then I had started doing IRL content, became a pretty notable force in the vlogging space. But then like all my gaming viewers were like, well, like I don't really want to see the IRL stuff. I'm here for the gaming stuff. And then once I went back to gaming, my IRL vlog viewers were like, we don't care about games. We're here about, we want to watch your girlfriend, dog, and you. Like we don't care about GTA 5. So there was a lot of like people that had subscribed for content that I was no longer doing. So what ends up happening is when you upload a video to YouTube, you get there's a stat called click-through ratio.
yeah.
So when a video goes in a sub box, that is the percentage of people that click on that video to watch it from your subscriber browse feed. If people are not clicking that in your subscriber browse feed or in your suggested, it negatively impacts you. So if you don't produce content that is resonating well with your audience, you effectively kill your own channel because you're not able to get a high enough CTR, where then the algorithm sees that and is like, hey, this is naturally a good video. Let's promote it to other people.
Yeah.
So what happens is, like, if person A, B, and C, if only person A is clicking it, but B and C are also subscribed, it's going to try to promote it to audience A, right? But if person A is only interested in gaming, but is a vlog viewer, the algorithm's like, hey, we don't know what to do with this video, right? So that's why on YouTube, I'm like 9 channels deep, and we specifically target specific niches and audiences in certain games. And once that is sort of gone and dead, example, Red Dead Redemption 2 on a channel called Outlaw Gary, I think we got up to like 500,000 subs. It was the #1 Red Dead Redemption 2 channel for all of Redemption, for RDR2's lifespan. And every game has a shelf life, and RDR2 had a shelf life, and it sort of fell to the wayside. And I just stopped uploading on the channel.
So, damn, it makes sense, but like, when do you say
it's time to walk away,
or when do you say, like, because you're like you've built a brand, so you can go and start another YouTube channel and acquire those viewers quickly, right? But for a new person, say they've got like a cooking channel, but then they also got an IRL channel, before they actually have 2 separate channels, wouldn't it make sense for them to kind of build one up a little bit before they do the separation?
No, surprisingly, no. I actually don't cross promote any of my YouTube channels. So if I drop one, I don't use that one to push to other places. Like, I just get up and leave. It's the sad reality of YouTube, because the algorithm is so strong. Like, I have launched in a new channel, and then within 30 days we can get like traction. Just because I've been doing it for so long, I know that, like, hey, like, creating good content, like, the secret to YouTube is, if you create great content with a great thumbnail, YouTube will make sure it gets seen by an audience. Like Mr. Beast could upload on a brand new channel. No one's ever seen it before. And he uploads one of his videos never before seen to a brand new channel. That video will go viral. It will, naturally. Not because of who Mr. Beast is. Like, it just is something that YouTube does when they find that, hey, if people are watching for long enough, people are clicking or interested in it long enough. And that's what we've been doing on our end. Like, we just launched a new channel like 2 months ago now. It's another React channel, just to see if this works. And we started doing additional React content on this channel called Reacting to Gaming.
Yeah.
And I think the channel's at like 80K subs or something in 2 months.
2 months? Wow. Like, how?
Yeah.
That is
It's
crazy.
85K. Okay, not 2 months. We made the channel September 28th, and then we made our first post. Oh yeah, 2 months ago. 2 months ago. Our first video did 320,000 views. Our second video did 1.4 million views.
So how many videos do you have posted on that channel?
Ooh, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 28. Probably 50.
That is insane.
50.
So how do you, like, obviously, you have editors, right?
Yeah.
But you're still doing the content.
Yeah.
How are you doing so much?
Yeah.
Explain, please, because I'm confused. How are you got to be doing like 6, 7 videos, 8 videos a day, no?
I think right now we cut back a little bit. So we had a whole Minecraft thing we were doing too. But we cut back. It was a big investment I put into Minecraft to do some like more so Blues Clues type of stuff, and that we cut that back because it was just taking too much time and too much effort. It was like story-driven Blues Clues content, but in Minecraft type of thing. Right now, I think we're doing, I would say, like original videos or like shorts too, or reels, like all those things
Just
included.
just
No,
just
just
everything. Yeah, everything.
okay. I think like I would probably say upwards of like 80, like 80 to 100 pieces of content a month,
And
somewhere around there.
so obviously you've built your own machine.
Yeah, yeah. So man, I think my team is like 16 people now.
So
Uh,
is that just like 16 editors, or do you have?
no, so it's yeah. So I have channel managers, creative directors, thumbnail artists. That's 16 to that's too much actually. We cut back in the new year. Actually, we got rid of a lot of thumbnail artists. I would say like 11. So we have 4 editors, channel managers, creative director, um, thumbnail artist, editors. I think I said, um, and then like content sourcing, like sort of like interns,
Yeah.
so people that help source content to find things that will go viral.
Okay,
So
dude, this is insane, and this is why I wanted to speak to you because I'm like, it's more of like your mind. Like, so you went from just doing one channel
yeah,
with 3 friends to creating a whole YouTube business and
yeah,
still streaming full time. Like,
yeah.
eh,
It's weird because like when I started this, it was just for fun,
yeah,
and then the fun became real, and then the fun became my livelihood. Then my fun became other people's livelihood. So like for me, it's like what really gets me going is being able to like support other, like me having a team and them depending on me is like my biggest motivator. It's so weird for me, like knowing that these individuals on my team depend on me to put food on their table gets me hyped. An example, like I am more likely to go to the gym if I am paying someone to be my personal trainer than I am just a monthly fee, right? Because like I know like this person depends on me to go to the gym so that he gets his money, right? So like that's how I work. Like it, having these people that are like gung ho, excited to be on the team, excited to get their paychecks, excited to work, motivates me to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's why we launch more and more channels and do more and more things. And now like we've gotten to a point where like we are launching new channels and new things and new ventures and clips and reels and shorts and all that stuff. Um, that it gets really overwhelming, I will say. Um, Especially like trying to manage streaming as well, because streaming inherently is a huge time dump where it's like, you know, to be a successful streamer, you've got to put in 4 to 8 hours a day just being live. And when you're creating content or managing a team or um, trying to navigate what the future will look like in the next quarter or the next 3 months, like, dude, it could get rough. I struggle with the streaming aspect. That's for me why I've never been able to put up crazy numbers on stream, because I'm so like, what's the next video? How are we doing it? What's the next channel? What's the ad rates? Are there any ad deals coming in? Stuff like that.
yeah, because like, so so is streaming beneficial to you at this point in time? In your honest opinion?
I would say, uh, I mean, the hesitation is a dead giveaway, but
Yeah.
I would say that streaming is something that is different than what I'm currently doing, to the point where I enjoy it enough, and that, um, like an example, like I stream on Facebook gaming, and I came over here now 2 years ago, just about. It's about to be my second year, be the next month, and I'm currently on a 2 month extension while we figure out what the future looks like for me and on the platform. And
Yeah.
I came over to Facebook gaming to help build the future of gaming on Facebook. And I love the live feature of being live because you have people to interact with. You have people you can talk to. It's different from being a YouTuber, because when I do my YouTube videos, I record the video and I can dip. Like I just
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hand it off to my editor. Like once I'm done at like recording the video, that's it. That's all I do. That I just record the video. I don't have to upload it. I don't have to put the thumbnail. I don't have to edit it. I don't have to do any of that stuff. I have people that do that for me at this point in my career. That's where like I'm very grateful. Where live is like I have to like sit live and be on for live like 4 to 8 hours. Where like, you know, it's, you see how it is. I mean, there's a larger burnout on streaming because you're always having to be on than there is on YouTube. But YouTube is harder to master than being live.
Yeah, because you're at that point where you're just delegating.
Yeah.
And I guess when you're streaming, you can't really do that.
There's been times sometimes where I literally have to get into calls with my team while I'm live.
Well, we're live right now, right?
Yeah. Just because like, yo, like there's not enough time in the day to like I've had people in positions on my team that are firefighters that are just like their job is just to put out fires. If problems arise, they take out those fires for me.
So was there was there a lot of like trial and error? Like what was some of your hurdles you went through, and did you ever feel like, nah, this shit ain't gonna work? Or was
100%. Yeah. So there were early on, trials and tribulations were crazy because I was vlogging every day. I was vlogging every day. I was streaming as well. So I would do a vlog, right? Like I would go out my house, then I would stream, and then I would be like, man, like my stuff is doing really well, but like things just aren't really adding up. Like I had a crazy fan base during my vlog days. Like it was nuts. Like it was like insane. Like not like Roman Atwood level, like one of the biggest vloggers in the space, but it was definitely like a really, really tight knit community where a lot of the viewers I have that are live now, like come from that era of Garrett. And yeah, the trials and tribulations I faced were moments of doubt where it's like, yo, like maybe I'm the problem. Maybe like the content I'm producing just isn't good. Maybe like the algorithm hates me. Maybe I'm doing too much. Like a lot of problems I had ran into early on, especially when YouTube gaming had launched, when I was a YouTube gaming streamer. Oh my God. There was a lot of issues back then. When that program launched, YouTube had a huge glitch where you would go live, it would send out a notification, Garrett is now live, right?
Yeah.
Or no, it would be 15 minutes before you would go live, it would send a notification, this person's going live.
Yeah.
Then it would send out a notification when you're live. Then when the stream was done, it would go as a VOD, and then they would send out another notification that the VOD is now posted. So that's 3 notifications, right? So pretend someone watched from the very beginning. They're not going to keep clicking every time. So then it was impacting my stats because that same person was not clicking the second time notification,
okay,
or the third time notification. And then because the videos were so long and they were streams, people don't watch VODs, right? Like people aren't like excited to go back and watch an entire 6-hour VOD when you're going live tomorrow, right? So then YouTube would be like, oh, people don't like this video, not realizing it was a VOD. So then that inherently over time just killed my YouTube channel because there was not enough. It was all like, there was too much stuff being thrown at the wall and hoping it would stick. And YouTube was just trying to figure it out, like their whole live sector at the time, which ultimately ended up really impacting that channel. Because I can upload a viral video that I do on my Game with Gary channel or on my Gary Blocks channel, which is one is a reaction channel for gaming and one is an Among Us modded channel. And that video would not do any numbers on Jobless Garrett at all. Like it wouldn't even like do 1,000 views probably. But that's just like some trials and tribulations I ran into. And then just recently, you know, sometimes in life you feel like you've got it all figured out. You figured out the secret sauce, and then you realize you want to go tackle a new niche, a new industry. So we tried doing Minecraft. We had crazy success in our first 2 videos, like 200K views per video. The channel is called Gary Games. And then we stopped uploading for I think like a week or something, 2 weeks. And then the channel just stopped doing numbers. And it was like,
so all that matters then, I guess.
Oh man, it all matters. It all matters. Like it's crazy. So yeah, we our first video 235,000 views. Our second video we did 176,000 views, and then we had a break in between our second and third, and our third was actually a video we had uploaded on another channel, and then that next video from 176 to 40,000, and then from 40,000 to 8,000, and then from there it just dwindled down to nothingness, from like 40,000, 8,000, 3,000, 1,000, 600, and then we just said, hey, let's put this on hold. So we've had many trials and tribulations even now. I would say there's like a secret recipe to it all, but every single niche is different, right?
Yeah.
So reaction's different to gaming is different to IRL, all that stuff's different.
So damn, like, so it's kind of like do you just say, like, you mentioned like, oh, I'm gonna come back to this channel. Do you come back, or is that just saying this shit's dead?
So like it depends. An example, like I had another channel called Crafty Gary. That was a Minecraft channel that we had. Oh no, what was it? Gary? I forgot what it was called. Oh yeah, Crafty Gary. We had done, these were like long form narrated videos that were like Minecraft machinimas. They were like Minecraft movies. And like we had some success in the first 3 videos. So the first 3 videos on a new channel are huge. Like that can make or break your channel, like for the algorithm, for sure. So we published our first video, got 200K views. It did all right. We weren't super happy with it. We wanted like 1 million min. Then the second video did 200K views, and we were like, we had a lot of problems in the video that we established later on. And then the third video, we did 485,000 views. But again, that video had too many hurdles and problems in it too. And then between each of these videos is like a month or 2 months of time. So there wasn't enough content going out to sustain the traction we were getting. So then the fourth video only did 26K views. And then the 5th video did 38,000 views. And these 5 videos collectively on this channel that I'm speaking of ran a bill of 150 grand.
Damn.
Yeah. So like a lot of time and effort, and these are like crazy, like these are huge productions, scripts, voice actors, editors, like crazy production. But like that is the level that, you know, like the bar is so high nowadays. Like earlier I mentioned that the bar is low, you can get away with some stuff.
Yeah.
Today, like, dude, if you want to have success, you've got to really study what does well, why things do well, and then invest into that. Now, you don't need to be putting in that type of money, but like to the sector of YouTube I was trying to get into,
Yeah.
the competition is putting up, you know, some of them are spending $250,000, $300,000 a month in cost to get videos out. And that's the name of the game. So with all that YouTube stuff, that's along the way, time wise, because now we're like the Minecraft stuff is more recent. If we backtrack on how Chang Gang came to be, that whole thing started because I was doing live content on YouTube for GTA 5.
So you got into. So did you know about nopixel like prior, or was it a thing?
No. So I don't even know. Nopixel GTA, I don't even think existed when I started doing GTA 5 videos, or like it was. So nopixel started off as a Arma server.
Yeah.
Just like and then eventually transitioned into GTA 5. But I stumbled upon nopixel pretty like after its first little wave. So nopixel had its first wave off of Lyric.
Yeah.
With the with the Lean Boys.
Yeah.
And I had met Kevin on another server, Lord Kevin, which was called like I think USA Realism, I think it was called. And then we ended up clicking really well. He became my best friend. You know, I was mentoring him and on YouTube stuff, and you know, we just vibed. And then he was a small streamer, man, on Twitch. He was like 4 or 5 like concurrent viewers, something like just starting, right?
Yeah.
And then at the time I was like the biggest YouTube GTA 5 RPer. Like I was doing GTA 5 RP on YouTube before it was hot. Like I was
So
like,
did
oh man,
when
like this
they
is the
met
next wave.
when like they met you, did they even understand that, or was that like two different worlds?
Who met me?
Like K and Rated in them.
They weren't even. Randy wasn't even. He didn't even exist.
Damn.
Like at that point, like it was just Kevin. It was just Kevin. Like early on, it was me and him. Then Taco came about. Like it slowly became to what it is today, but it was like months of like that developing. Like the original Chang Gang was like me, Kevin, a character named Margaret, and then my ex. Like that's the
So
original
so
gang.
Big D wasn't even around then.
No, no, no.
Oh.
Like the original OG gang was like just a slew of people that I just used for like recordings, like video, like putting videos together, right? Like it wasn't thought out. It wasn't like this
Yeah, yeah, it
mastermind.
was
It was just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, I need people for these videos I'm making, and these people are the ones that are around and work. And then over time, we met more people that worked for the videos, and then they started getting more in, and then they started streaming, or like were streaming, but like was just brand new to it, you know, like, and that's just naturally how the ball just kept going. Like the content machine just kept churning, and then like I, I would make a video, and then they would live stream it, or I would be live on my channel, and then after I'd be live, I'd send people over to Twitch to go watch Kevin. Like that's just how the ball like I think even on the Jobless Garrett channel, like maybe till this day, I'm not sure. Like at the end of all the RP videos was like Kevin's channel, like just
That's
in
sick.
the bio, just like yo, because I needed him. Like every Batman has his Robin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like I needed someone that I considered a good content creator, and for someone that was so new, Kevin was amazing. Like he just got it. He was funny. My audience clicked well with him. Like it just was very natural, and it was something that I really really appreciated when he was just trying to make it work. Like he was just doing it for fun. I think he was just a college student at the time too, or he had just finished. He had just graduated, I think. So then over time, Chang Gang came to be, and now we're a bunch of band of idiots, and we're all, yeah, it's crazy. I've definitely had some teary-eyed moments looking back, like, God dang, like, you know, I did this with people that I met online. Like, yeah, I've had some like heart jerker crying moments with Kevin where like, yo, man, like we're here, like,
Yeah, that's what I kind of want to get into. Uh because now, Chain Gang is a brand, it's an entity, it's a business within itself. Um
yeah.
but when you said it was you and Kevin met, so if you could give us like, like the whole 2.0 vibe and like, meeting Summit, because I think somebody I interviewed somebody and they were saying how like Summit was huge and you was like the kind of the only guy who like really knew how huge Summit was. Like you got nervous
Yeah.
around him and stuff like that.
Not
So
me. I don't know. I've never been nervous. So I knew Jared before nopixel, oddly enough.
okay,
I had met him at an event, like, so it was weird. So like he was like he's an OG of Twitch,
yeah,
like, and he was a big name already. And I was like an OG of YouTube. And there's always been like, even on nopixel, there's been that like weird, like, if you're back then, if you were a streamer and you were a YouTuber, like it just didn't mesh well. It was really weird. There was like this weird situation back then. It was just very odd. But with Summit specifically, we met him because of Bo. So Bo, rest in peace, his
rest in peace,
soul.
Bo. Yeah,
Yeah. He was a mod for Summit. And one day, many months went by, and Bo was trying to convince Summit to join nopixel. Because Bo had been RPing for quite some time, and he was rolling with us here and there. And he one day convinced someone to join, and that set up Twitch for the next big boom. So it went, Lyric gave it its first introduction. Then I introduced nopixel to YouTube, and then there was a long drought, like a very, very long death period where there was just nothing going on. Like RP at one point had slowed down so much where me, Kevin, and Taco stopped playing. Well, not stopped playing, but started focusing on other things as well. And that's around when Red Dead came out.
Yeah.
So then I already had my Red Dead Redemption 2 channel, and I saw my boys weren't doing too hot financially on the Twitch side. And I was like, listen, like, keep doing what you're doing. Obviously, like, it's, you know, whatever. Do Red Dead with me. I'll tell you guys how to do it. I'll teach you guys how to make the thumbnails. I'll teach you guys how to make the videos. Like, literally copy what I'm doing and do it. And they started doing that, and that started bringing in like a few $1,000 a month. Like, it started bringing in additional revenue for them.
Yeah.
And then Kevin was like the only real one that stuck with RP hard. Like, he rode that thing. Like, he was not gonna, like, that at the time too. That's like all he knew, right? Didn't really have another option necessarily. Like, there's no fallback plan. He just believed in himself. And in this space, like, all you can do is believe in himself and in yourself.
Yeah.
And he wrote it. He wrote it all the way and continued. And when everyone else quit, he was still here. Everybody else moved on, like Variety, and honestly, Variety is pretty detrimental to a Twitch channel if you don't have a backing strong enough to support it. And then, yeah, that's when Summit came along, and we were riding, and bro, he just clicked with us like heavy. Like, it was like the most natural introduction because Bo introduced us, and then we were just like, yo, let's vibe. And it worked, man. It worked way too well. For it to it just felt like fate. Like, it was meant to go down that way. It was cool. It was really cool.
That's crazy. Now you're saying shit blows up. Are you like still like? Are you like? Because you said you kind of like chilled off RP. Did you come back full time now, or?
Yeah, so 2.0 I was pretty heavily involved. Then 2.0 I would say middle ground involved. 1.0 I was deep in it. 2.0 I was like, I still had my hand and foot in it, but at the time I was also going through my life trial tribulations. That's when I was going through some serious relationship issues with my ex-fiance, and things just weren't working out, and I was in the mud, man. I was struggling. But I didn't come around as much because when you got stuff going on in your home life and you're trying to manage YouTube, streaming, all these things, it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out. So then after things didn't work out with my ex, I ended up coming back to RP, streaming on an exclusive streaming contract with Twitch. Did that for a year on Twitch. Did RP, super fun, had great times. Then 3.0 came around, and the month before 3.0, I got an offer to go to Facebook. And I missed the entire wave of 3.0 because everyone blew up from 3.0.
Yeah.
Because I was on Facebook when the Foosleys, the Saikunos, the Hassans, the XUCs came over.
Yeah.
I personally missed that. Even though I was involved, being on Facebook at the time was so new, and that was like mid COVID, you know?
Yeah.
So like people were already watching on Twitch. So why were they the only person on Facebook was me and Kevin. So that wasn't enough for them to make the jump, you know?
Yeah. So how did you feel about that? Like, like obviously I don't want you to get too much detail, but like, how did that? Do you think that was like a bad business move?
I don't. The thing is, you can't time this stuff. You know, like looking back, I would not say it was a bad business move because it's what I knew at the time, right? I made a decision with the information I had at the time. No one could have predicted that GTA 5 RP was going to blow up again.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we didn't know that 3.0 was going to be as bigger than 2.0, right? Because, like, for us, like, if you looked at the charts If you ever seen them, it's nuts. Like 1.0 to 2.0 was big. It's sort of like freaking crypto, right? You're like, oh my God, there's no way it can get bigger than this. And then boom, it gets bigger. Like, oh my God. So like, yeah, no way we could have predicted it. When I took the opportunity I got from Facebook, it was double what I was making. It was like a little bit less than double what I was making on Twitch at the time, and it was guaranteed consistent, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like it's not though. Typically in those types of situations, you want to go way bigger, but that just wasn't an offer that was present for me at the time.
Yeah.
If I would have gotten the boom, oh man, my deal would have been probably 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
I definitely missed out, but it wasn't in my control. Definitely the later end of the move overs probably got some of the heavier handed, because at that point they had such large audiences comparatively. When I based my deal, it was based off what we knew, you know. And at the time, GTA 5 wasn't as big as it is today. Well, when it was at 3.0, GTA slowed down a lot. So
now, like you like basically you and Kevin's created this brand, you know, as we know today, it's like CG and stuff. And from an outsider looking in, it's the only brand in the server. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously gangs, but it's not really a business brand. So did you take control of that? Like because of your experience with YouTube and stuff, and like lead everybody in the right direction?
Yeah, for the very beginning, early on, I was definitely like the dad of the group. I was like the glue that kept it all together. A lot of viewers would say, yeah, for sure. Like an example, like early on, like whenever my boys were struggling on any fronts of financial business motives, I always tried to find solutions to those issues. So for a long time, I was getting the boys brand deals. I got the boys the Facebook deals. I put all those things together. Like I connected the people. I'm a big connector. So like I like, one of my things that I enjoy doing that really like fills my soul is like putting good people in touch with good people, right? So if someone comes to me like, hey Garrett, I need, whatever, like I like to make connections where it makes sense for both parties. And early on, that's a lot of what I did for many of the boys and even people in the space. More notably, like connecting Mr. Beast as an example to his agent today, like, which then ended up making Mr. Beast, in theory, have the money that he has today to be able to fund the project he has. Like it's little connections that make up big big
so there's
moves.
there's like agents in this world, kind of like sports.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Big agencies too. Yeah. So what, I guess backtrack for early on, Kevin was in the middle of renegotiating his Twitch deal. His contract was coming to an end, and at this point, he was so large, and I was like, listen, don't sign anything. Let me send out some emails. So I sent out a cold email to the guy, the myth, the man, the legend, Brandon Freetag. He is the one that did the Ninja and Shroud deal for Mixer.
Okay, yeah.
So I reached out to him. I was like, listen, man, I got one of the biggest GTA guys on Twitch. At this time, Kevin was getting like 20,000, like 15 to 25,000 concurrent.
Jeez.
Back in the day, right? So like, but he was a low key sleeper because like he was pulling these numbers, but he had no brand recognition. Like no one really knew who Lord Kevin was in the streaming circles, right? So like even today, like when he met like Fusli and Valkyrie and all these people, like they didn't know who he was back then because like he was just a sleeper. Like he was just like moving in silence with these and heavy hitting numbers. So he ended up Brandon ended up emailing me back. This is the agency Loaded, ended up emailing me back saying, "Hey, we'd love to see what we can do. Let's talk." So I
Yeah.
connected them, and then that's how Facebook came to be. Just connecting us with people, the right people, and now we work heavily with Loaded, which is like one of the biggest agencies in our space. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just that's just how dude. It just like sometimes it just takes that one phone call, that one email, that one message, that one thing of you doing something to change the entire course of someone's life.
So
And
you almost play like management too, then.
oh yeah. For early on CG, I was heavy management boy. I was getting the boys brand deals as regularly as we could because GTA wasn't the most brand advertiser friendly game until this day. Is pretty hard to get brand opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So damn, man, there's so much. So now, all of this is happening. Like where, like, as you see, like, you know, CG as an entity, like, what do you see for the future of the brand, and
Yeah.
what do you see, and what do you want to happen?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm really banking on is the boys remaining friends over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, for sure. Like that has to be. We've already been friends for 5 years. We've got to keep going the distance now. We got to remain a family, and in doing so, the drive, motivation, hunger has to stay there as well. So that when GTA 6 comes out, we can do it all over again. That's the big idea. That like, hey, like right now it's the building phase. Like all the boys are working on their YouTube channels. Everyone's getting like they've got their money right. They just got to build their brand presence right and make sure like they're staying relevant and hungry for that next big step. Because in this space, there's always another step. There's always another big move in a certain direction, and yeah, I think like. For sure, the next step is to do GTA 6 when it drops, be heavily involved with the boys, because that's our bread and butter, right? And I know that space of starting up, like being on the ground running for GTA, so I could easily do it. It's just gonna take a lot of sacrifice and a lot of motivation and drive to want it, and that's where it gets complicated. Because as you know. When people get comfortability is the death to anything productive.
I hate I hate the word comfortable. I hate it. I don't want to be around it.
if you get, dude, and I'm victim to it too sometimes, man. Like I look at how well I'm doing. I'm like, do I really need to do X, Y, Z? Do I really need to, do I need? Will an extra $1,000 in my life make me happier? Like simple things like that, where like I'm already making enough money. Do I need to make any more money? Like what? I don't live this lavish lifestyle. Like as someone that's been doing it as long as I have, like, man, like I couldn't imagine a world where I went back to it. I went and streamed live and then like did subathons.
Yeah.
I just couldn't, like, that's just like, that just sounds so foreign to me.
I think you mentioned it earlier. Like you mentioned it twice. You kind of, you said you're like kind of your purpose. Just like you're at that point where you just love helping people.
Yeah.
You like putting like
to my own detriment too. A lot of times, like I put others before myself. Like I'll give too much, and then I'll get burned.
So how do you get around that?
And I just keep taking this. I just keep taking the L's, and then just look forward to the W's as they come. Yeah, like it sometimes like it probably hurts. I've been burned hard in this industry. I've been hurt, betrayed, as everyone has in life through different things they may have done. But in this space, it hurts the most. It feels because like you can drastically change someone's life for the better. Like
100%.
like you can take someone from making, you know, $1,000 a month, having like $5,000 in your bank account, to leaving with like 1.2, 3, $4 million. Brands are huge. Like it's very, very, very possible. I've seen it. It's happened to me. So, um, yeah, it's definitely like life changing moves can be done. Like you build people up, and then once you build them up, they're like, "Oh, I did this on my own." And you're like, "No, you didn't. What? I was there
Yeah.
holding your hand the entire
So
way."
so do you think that's like a human nature thing, like
100%.
because it's like I read this book about like giving, right? And it
Mhm.
was like basically in the sense of like, you know, like like the very wealthy people, like their purposes, they like to give, um but they will be burned from like certain people, like you said, but the whole
100%.
the whole purpose is it comes back to them regardless in
Yeah.
multiple different ways.
Yeah, and I believe in that. I'm a heavy believer of karma.
Yeah.
I'm a heavy believer of like, yo, it as long as I'm putting out good in the world, good will come back to me, right? And speaking of like what you just mentioned of wealthy people, it's that trap that even lottery winners run into, where you win the lottery, you're making all this money, you've never had this wealth before, you've never had this amount of money, so you don't know what to do with it, and right when you get it, your family starts asking you for money, so then you start giving them money, and then they start depending on you, but then like the money starts running out because you just had one big lump sum, and then eventually you're like, hey, like I got no more money. Then your family's like, oh, you don't love me, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's things like that that rub me the wrong way, that sometimes people really truly do forget where they come from, and how they got to where they got in life. And it was in contribution to their efforts as well, right? Like it's not like I did all the heavy lifting, but it's one of those situations where like, hey, I set up a campfire for you, or you may have set up the campfire, but I dumped the gas on it, and now you have a flame that's very strong. Where before you were working with like sticks and stones, Um, that's my mentality when it comes to it. And if people don't recognize that, for me, it's okay. Like
So
I'm not here for like, yo, you gotta give me
yeah,
credit.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I know what like. Listen, at the end of the day, it's up to that person to be a good person. And if I made a bad call and invested in someone that I thought was a good person that ultimately ended up showing their true colors that was not a good person, that's on me, man. That's on me. I dropped the ball.
I actually like that. So with you now, like what, like you're right, okay, with for the success you've accomplished, right? Like you said, like
Mhm.
people accomplish success, they kind of forget where they come from, they get egos, natural thing. I'm the guy, like you said, you got
Yeah,
20,000
yeah,
viewers in your thing. I'm the guy now.
yeah.
How have you stayed so, I would say so humble, because you are the guy. How have you stayed
Um,
humble through all of this? Like, what is your, what grounds you? Because it's something that grounds you.
yeah. I think for me, what grounds me is just knowing that I was once very poor. Coming from like a poor upbringing, like my mom, single family home, did everything she could to put food on the table, sacrifice what she needed to in order to make things work, and ultimately, like, molded me into the man that I am today. I definitely remember and recall those moments that I had nothing, to be able to remember like, hey, I don't want to live that again. I don't want to be poor again. Yeah, that's what grounds me. Is myself. Just reminding myself that like I came from nothing and I can go back to having nothing if I don't play my cards right.
Damn. So it's just like, so you're the definition of really getting it out the mud. That's what they would say.
I mean, it's not as bad as some mud. I'm not like mile 8 over here, but like I'm not like over here in Compton, but I definitely like, yeah. my mom definitely sacrificed herself, like buying herself new clothes growing up, and I didn't know this as a kid. Like I didn't know that my mom was like, you know, not buying herself new clothes to buy me the freshest fits, right? Didn't know my mom was doing the thing like food stamps to like, I didn't know these things growing up. And then as I got older, I realized looking back and talking to my mom, I'm like, hey, like, why didn't you ever buy yourself new clothes? And she's like, well, we didn't have the money. I'm like, but you would take me like you would like take me on trips, like to go to Disney. Where would that money I would save and like all these things? And I'm like, what the heck?
And
Yeah.
and it's crazy because like, and you know how, like, so how successful you are, and this is why I always say, like, to people, like, you're working crazy amount of time, crazy, like you said, 80 to 100 videos a month, right?
Yeah.
And you know to the person that's coming up now, it's like, yo, you got to work hard, you got to work just as hard or even harder.
It's nuts. Like I have a lot of respect for people that are coming up today. There's a lot of people that came up during the vid phase because everybody was home. There was a lot more eyeballs. And if you notice, because now the vid is died down, um, like the viewership on Twitch has as well, and on Facebook and on YouTube, people just aren't consuming as much content as they were when they were all stuck at home. So it's even harder now because people just aren't doing it as much. Um, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. Does not mean it's impossible. That's for sure.
So what's I know I said this about CG, like, what's next for you personally, like, you know
Yeah, for me, there was some. I want to launch 3 new channels this year. Hopefully, I have a goal of getting 3 new channels doing at least 10 million views a month by the end of the year.
on
That would be
each
ideal.
channel or
Yeah,
together?
each channel.
Wow.
Yeah, I think like my main channel, Game of Gary, now is pushing like 32 million views a month right now. And then my other reacting to gaming is doing 10 million. Gary Blocks is doing 6 million or 8 million or something. And then we've had conversations of doing an Arabic channel.
Mhm.
So I actually had a guy dub my videos in Arabic and trying to reach an Arabic audience.
I seen Mr.
That's
Beast do that. He had like a same videos with different language.
that's a big thing right now, because the audiences are huge in Saudi Arabia. Um, the audiences are huge in India. So if I can get these videos that are already doing well in English translated to their native languages, then I could build whole new fan bases. The problem is that there isn't a lot of return there early on. It's not like the money that you make off of those speaking countries, just because the ad rates are lower, is like way lower, but like 5 times lower, 6 times lower than if I were to just invest into an English.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Jeez.
um, that's probably, I think the next step is doing more YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
In which direction I don't know yet. With live, I don't know what the future holds just yet. I was planning on like taking a step away from live in December, and then I got offered a 2 month extension, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Um,
So
but I'm all about.
after your 2 months, you stepping away? Don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. That's the problem. Is that I don't, whatever way the current flows. I have no idea. Um, it just depends on what comes knocking and what opportunities arise, and
What makes sense for you? I
what
got
makes
you.
sense. That's the biggest thing. It's now in my time in the space, it's really hard to make sense of it all, of like what makes sense. And I think like the only reason why I would continue to do live content for the foreseeable future is just to continue the relationship with the boys, doing RP, so that we are building for GTA 6. That's the bigger picture play. What I'm really banking on. Um, Regardless, we're doing GTA 6. I just don't know like what that game will look like, because I know online won't come out as the game comes out. Um, so we'll see.
Damn. Okay. And Wow. It's deep, man. Like you said a lot of stuff, and I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know what forces behind you to like keep you going and like work so hard. But I definitely feel that I definitely believe that like you're the reason why a lot of shit that we see on the internet now is there, from even YouTube to like even the GTA stuff, you know? Like,
Yeah.
CG is the reason why people watch, RP, and even for them to like build a brand and you're behind that is insane. And
Yeah, no.
I knew some stuff, but like just having this interview right now is just like mind blowing. I had
Well,
so much other questions, and now I'm like my mind is just
I appreciate you even having me on and doing this. And, like personally, I love talking about all these things and how it all came to be. And I love educating people on bettering themselves to reach their goals and do what they want to do in life, because it really just is that easy. Like it's crazy because it really just is that easy. Like you just gotta do it
yeah.
and do it and fail and keep failing until you succeed. Because like I didn't have any success on YouTube for upwards of 2 years before it finally started to like do something. And it could take some people 4, 6, 8 years until they're like, man, my content sucks. Um, and that's exactly what I had to come to realization for a long time, was like, the reason why I'm not getting what I want out of this is because I am just not appealing to the people that the algorithm wants me to appeal to. And my content is just not up to par with what's out there. And you just got to realize, hey, what can I do to, like, the worst thing you can do is think you're too cool to innovate. Like when TikTok first came around, people were like, oh, I'm too cool for TikTok. I'm not going to post on TikTok, bruh. I posted on TikTok every single day for months. 3.8 million followers on TikTok.
Yeah, I just seen your TikTok the other day. I was like, this
And
guy is like billions everywhere.
yeah, and like I did it, and then my biggest caveat where I struggle is like keeping like couldn't like doing it for years, right? Like I can do it, but I can't keep doing, like, it's hard, man, to juggle all these hats and have all these people and doing and all these people in place and checking up on them and doing all these things and keeping these platforms alive is really difficult. Really difficult. So
That's
overall
wild.
though, it's dude, it's been a journey. Been a journey.
So have you ever thought about streaming on TikTok too? Because I heard it's a good streaming platform, like
Right
sub
now,
streaming.
right now, Facebook Gaming is the only platform I stream on. It's my exclusive platform. I haven't
Oh,
thought of streaming on any other platform
mm,
besides Facebook Gaming, so it's my number one platform. So
we love Facebook. Thank you. Shout out Facebook.
that's right. That's
Um,
right.
bro, I want to appreciate you. Listen, man. Um, I was gonna ask you something like, personally, like I would just love to like I don't even know what is the word, like, yo, intern for you, anything, just to kind of like soak up, because like you like just to even be in your presence is like I have so much gratitude for that. Like,
Uh,
just like
no
I
problem.
know you're busy, but like, yo, one day if you're like, yo, man, so yo, you want to come like do this, or I'm gonna show you
We do
this.
a we could do a chop up session, and I'll have you, Bosch, and I'll have Nexera. Those would be my three that I would do a chop up session with.
Bro, and listen, anything, man. Like I'll like the saying of
And Omar.
I've always said that you know um how do I say this? Like, I come from like, certain places. So like in the drug dealing days, right? A lot of people would just be always like get the the big money, the big things, right? And I always
Yeah.
be like, yo, I'll take the crumbs from the floor because the crumbs will eventually make the cake. So I've always been like that, been always like, yo, I'll soak up any knowledge because there's nothing that's too good for you. Like the guy that's
Yeah.
across the street that you call a bum, he has a vice for you that you could take far, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm always like that. So you know, and
I'm
I
the bum.
You're not the bum. You're the guy in the mansion. But I'm just saying, like, you know, people, like I said, people get like complacent. People get comfortable. People, and I just like, there's this, like I said, there's people that be in the city. They'll see you and be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, bro, this is the guy right here. So like I
Yeah.
said, you know, one day, any day, bro. I just want to soak up knowledge, man. To
I'm
be
down.
honest,
I'm down. I'm down. It's been
because
I'll
you know
tell
what the
you
fuck you're doing.
I'll tell you life these last I just spent the month in Spain. So these last, 30 days have been insane. But yeah, let's do it.
Dude, you're in Spain putting up thing and all that stuff, and it's like, bro, those things like the that's like drive. Like you still doing that, and like
You got to, man.
you just
The thing is, like, I don't know, man. What's crazy for me too is that, like, I don't have a goal for it. Like, I'm not like building all this and doing all this stuff and making this money to like I don't know. I don't want the fancy car. I don't wear I wear colorful shirts every day. I wear a necklace that my girlfriend gave me. Like I'm pretty simple. Like I don't wear like crazy jewelry. The most expensive piece I got is a heirloom from my grandfather. Like it's a Rolex, but it's like, I never bought it, like it was hand down to me. So like I'm not a big guy of like doing all that stuff. Like, I don't even know. I honestly have no idea why I do it. I have no clue. I have no idea why I put myself through all the stress and everything I do.
But
I just love it.
that's what I'm saying. That drive is just love, right? It's like,
Yeah.
and I say this even with like sports. I was talking to my boy about like basketball. I say basketball's kind of changed because the money and stuff's changed these guys. Where you look at like, football, like soccer, like the World Cup and stuff, like these people like was born to win that World Cup. So like there's no money that can top that. It's like,
no,
I will die to get this. And
Bro, it's nuts. I went to a Barcelona game when I was in Spain. I went to a game, bro. Those fans are diehard fans. Those players, diehard players. They do it for the passion, for the love, and bro, that's why I do it too, man. I mean, like that's the reason for me is like I don't have like a monetary value reason. I think also like it's a good thing because having that mentality of like I'm doing it for the next fast car or the next big mansion or the next Gucci drop, like that's a cycle that's inherently super unhealthy. Where like honestly, I'm just trying to put food on the table, money in the bank, so that I can have kids and then support them in all their dreams and aspirations. So that's in theory my goal, to support my significant other, my kids, and my family. Because bro, the next 5, 10, 20 years that you have, people will die. I had a whole tweet about it yesterday. I'm 32 years old. The next 5 to 10 years, my grandmother will die. The next 10 to 20 years, my mom will die. My dad will die. I ain't gonna have nobody, bro. My aunts are gonna die. I'm gonna have my cousin and my little family I create. And life just goes like that, bro. It's so fast. So that's why for me, I'm building all of this so that I could have those moments with my family in the future and the time that I have left with the people that are here, because you never know. Here, there, gone the next moment.
That's deep. Bigger purpose. That's deep. That's deep. Holy.
Call your family. Tell me you love them.
Yeah, no, I seen that tweet yesterday. I was on stream and I seen that shit and I was like, damn, this shit too deep right now.
Yeah, that was like one of those 3 a.m. thoughts I had, and I was like, bro, like, that's crazy. Like, you get so caught up in your day to day. I get caught up in my day to day, and you forget, like, yo, people die every second. Somebody just died right now.
I know, and you try.
Somebody was also just born right now too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, in the cycle. But yo, thank you so much for having me on the show, and
bro, appreciate you.
I really love
man.
what you're doing and talking to everybody. And if you watch till the end, in the comments, put lemon. Just put the word lemon so we know you watch it. You're a real one. You watch all the way to the end.
The lemon, yeah. Put the lemon. And yo, again, I appreciate you, bro. You've since I've known you, you've been a solid dude. Even when I was banned, you reached out to me and been like, bro, yo, you good?
When you were banned, I had never even, I don't think I ever met you in game, and I was like, this guy's been robbed. I was like messaging these freaking admins like every week, like, bro, what's going on? They're like, You know, he has to appeal. I'm like, this mother trucker appealed already. Freaking unban him. It's stupid. I don't understand. That was a whole debacle. Just time
Yeah,
wasted for you. But we won't get into that because
yeah.
I don't want to get banned too for how I feel about it.
It's all good. I'm back, you know. Thank the admins, thank Cole, thank CG. You know, you guys really stood up for me, and it kind of just shows like what type of people you are. And bro, I'm sure, you like I said, there's gonna be a lot of people that learn from this. I learned from this, and yo, just thank you, bro.
No problem, man. Literally, we could do it again. And in a few months,
I'll do this 1,000 times.
Catch up, or we'll do a secrets to YouTube, whatever you want to chop it up. If you the next chop up session,
Zo, what do you say? The internship, or how did it go? The
you
chop
can
up.
record it, and you can whatever you want.
Yeah, cause I'm learning. But yeah,
Easy.
Garrett, appreciate you, man. Love, brother. And yeah, we'll talk.
For sure. Later, brother.